Boy Frank from All Out Sports, and we are just doing a little 1 hour live reaction to the trade deadline. I have some screens pulled up that I'm going to share with you in a second. I'm just trying to make sure everything is set up since I am the only one here. Let me just, let's just make sure everything's good real quick. I'm trying to get it all down. But while I was setting this all up, some trades did go down. In my opinion, the biggest one that just happened in the past 5 minutes. I think another trade just went down that I missed. Hold on, I'm checking my phone. Okay. Never mind, it's the one I'm about to talk about. Calvin Ridley got traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars, although he is suspended for his gambling issue. That is huge for Trevor Lawrence and the Jags offense because as a person who is a fan of this Jaguars offense with it was James Robinson, but now Travis Etienne, you have Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Marvin Jones. Now you add in Calvin Ridley for the future, Evan Ingram, who's been playing surprisingly well for them. It's very interesting to see they're putting all these pieces around Trevor Lawrence, and he's got to be the one to answer. So we're going to go over a lot of those trades, though, that just happened today. Let me just, like I said, I'm the only one here right now. Let me just make sure everything pulled up on the YouTube and ready to go. Okay, that should be good. Let me go ahead and tweet the link out. But the NFL this year has, I think, honestly killed it with the trade deadline. Normally the NBA is the one who takes the trade deadline cake, as you can say, but the NFL this year has just kind of made some splash trades. I'm going to go over a lot of them. Let me open this up and let me switch to that tab. Okay, so it's not completely updated yet because let me see. They don't. Okay, they got the Dolphins trade up there now. Good. Okay, so let's start from the top. Robbie Anderson gets traded to the Arizona Cardinals. If you saw, he had that heated-ish exchange with his coach. He walked off the field, was sent off, got shipped away. I think that's good for Arizona. You just add some depth at the wide receiver, especially with the injuries people have been dealing with. So it's not a terrible trade for either team. I think Robbie Anderson is still a good player, just kind of has some character issues, I guess you could say. Atlanta, that's about to be changed in a second, but Deion Jones was traded to the Browns. Deion Jones, he hasn't fallen off, but his career's kind of slowly gone down. Still a good player, added to the Browns. I think that's a great addition. Big trade yesterday. Roquan Smith traded from the Chicago Bears to the Baltimore Ravens, adding a huge piece to that defense to help alongside Patrick Queen and all those studs in the what would you call the not the secondary. What are the linebackers called? Back four? I don't know, but helping out that defense, of course, which I think is still a great defense, even if the numbers say not. Bills have yet to make a crazy trade yet. One of the bigger trades that happened 2 weeks ago, the Carolina Panthers traded away Christian McCaffrey to the San Francisco 49ers for a 2023 second, a 2023 third, a 2023 fourth, and a 2024 fifth round pick. A lot of people say San Francisco got fleeced. I don't know. People say they gave up too much. I think if everything plays out right, say the Niners go win a Super Bowl, no draft. I'm not gonna say no draft pick is gonna equal a Super Bowl, but those draft picks aren't gonna. You're not gonna win a Super Bowl with those draft picks in your inventory. You could say this year, like McCaffrey's gonna help you go win a Super Bowl. So I love the trade for San Francisco, and I think it's gonna be a short rebuild for Carolina actually, because I think those draft picks are gonna helped them out a lot last year. They're going to acquire more pieces, probably get a running back in free agency that's just a solid back. Go get a quarterback, get rid of Baker, probably trade him away for picks, and then just continue to build off that. The Bears already talked about Roquan. They traded in the middle of the week Robert Quinn to the Philadelphia Eagles for a 4th-round pick. The Eagles will always do this. The Eagles will always trade for depth in their line. They always traded for depth everywhere. They used to trade for they made the trade for Jay Ajayi back in their Super Bowl year just to add depth to the running back room. Now they trade for Robert Quinn to get more depth on the pass rush, which is a Philadelphia Eagle move. So I think it's a great trade for them. Chase Claypool was also acquired to the Bears today from Pittsburgh Steelers for a 2nd-round pick. I think a 2nd-round pick is good for him if that's all you gave up. Obviously, Justin Fields needs help at the receiver position, and if you ask me, Darnell Mooney is not a wide receiver 1. He's playing wide receiver 1 because they don't have one. So moving him to 2 and Claypool to 1, I think is a great fit for them. It will help Justin Fields out in the long run. Cleveland Browns already talked about this Deion Jones trade. The Cowboys, I did not see this one. They acquired ex-New York Giant and ex-Las Vegas Raider Jonathan Hankins for a 7th-round pick. That's just depth at the D-line position. Not a bad trade at all. We'll talk about this one real quick. The Bradley Chubb trade. Now let's talk about it from Denver's side. You got a 5th-round pick and Chase Edmonds. First-round pick. Excuse me. 1st-round pick and Chase Edmonds. 4th of Chase Edmonds. I don't really think Bradley Chubb is worth the 1st. I'm going to be honest with the injury history and only had double-digit sacks once. Obviously, the Dolphins need help, especially with their secondary being injured. You need some type of pass rush to force, turnovers and stuff like that. So I don't think it's a terrible trade. But I think on the back end for Denver, you get a 1st-round pick now, a running back who's not the worst. I mean, the running back room is kind of all over the place right now. So getting Chase Edmonds helps. You kind of get depth at that position. You get a 1st-round pick. I think Denver kind of won this trade, in my opinion. We'll move on to the next big trade, though. The trade that kind of popped off the morning when I woke up. TJ Hawkinson was traded from the Detroit Lions to the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, the Lions' offense has looked great this year. Their defense is the one that struggled. But losing Hawkinson is kind of iffy. A lot of people think it's a dumb trade, but it's also he's coming up on a contract year, I believe. So they kind of, I guess, don't want to pay him and just want to kind of revisit the rebuild. But at the same time, Hawkinson, it's hard to come across really good tight ends, and Hawkinson is just one of them. So Minnesota adding a weapon to their offense. Now no offense to Irv Smith and the other guys, but outside of Irv Smith and all them, you had Hawkinson in with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. That offense is going to look real good come postseason time. So, and all you gave up was a 2nd-round pick and a 3rd. I think that's a terrible, terrible trade. Scroll down to Jacksonville. Jacksonville Jaguars have traded James Robinson to the New York Jets. This was after Breece Hall got hurt. And Robinson was dealing with a knee injury. As a James Robinson fantasy owner, I noticed that a lot. Dealing with a knee injury. And ETN kind of took the offense into his wing. He kind of became the running back 1 out of nowhere. And a 6th-round pick for James Robinson after Breece Hall goes down. Don't think the Jets are going for the playoffs, but you kind of get a stacked running back room with Breece Hall, Robinson, Michael Carter. I mean, Breece Hall is hurt, of course, but I'm talking about the future. You have a lot of young running backs there who are all really good, who you could eventually probably trade one of them for picks. So, I think it's a good trade for both sides. You move on from James Robinson. You have ETN. He is your back now. You also don't lose much because you give up a 6th if you're the Jets. So it's a win-win for both sides. Ooh, down to the next trade. Kansas City Chiefs acquire Kadarius Toney from the New York Giants for a 3rd round and a 6th round pick. Oh man, as a Giants fan, this one hurt. I saw a lot of people talking about the Giants fleeced the Chiefs. I don't believe that at all. If you watch the lick of football, if you watch the lick of Kadarius Toney on the field, that man is talented. That man, I said this last year, he gives me flashes of prime Odell Beckham Jr. when he's running around on the field. He's a great football player. It was just, I don't know if it was character issues with the Giants or he just didn't want to be there, because he tweeted out that it was fake injuries or whatever, and then he retweeted out that he's going to miss New York, a bunch of other shit. So it was very confusing with him. But as a Giants fan, I think this is a complete loss for us unless the Giants use these picks to make a trade in the next 30 minutes, 40 minutes. But Kadarius Toney being added to Kansas City is an absolute win for them. Add him in a room with Juju, Mecole Hardman, MVS, who can take the defense over the top, Travis Kelce, and then a decent running back room with Patrick Mahomes. Nah, it's going to be over for defenses once they get him in those motion type plays. The Las Vegas Raiders added a tackle, Justin Herron from the Patriots. To be honest, don't know much about you, so I'm not going to really talk on that. We already talked about Jonathan Hankins, just adding linebacker or D-line depth for Dallas. You lose a D lineman if you're the Raiders, but your D-line is pretty stacked as well. Just checking my phone to make sure nothing has happened. The Chargers and Rams, nothing crazy for them. This was the Dolphins acquiring Bradley Chubb. Like I said, I think it's really a win for Denver. I don't know how great Chubb will be. I think Chubb will flourish well in Miami with a better. Is it a better defense though? Because it's not really a better defense, so I don't really know. It's obviously to help the Dolphins, of course. I don't know. That one's tough. I don't like the trade for the Dolphins. I think it helps, but I just really can't say much on it. We already talked about this for the Vikings. I think it's huge for them getting Hawkinson. We already talked about the Patriots. Giants already brought them up. Jets brought them up. Eagles brought them up. Pittsburgh Steelers. I want to talk about them real quick. You trade Chase. I didn't bring this up. You traded Chase Claypool away, which understandable. It was him, Judy, and Cooks kind of on the deadline of receivers to be traded. And really, I don't really know what to think of the Steelers now because you trade Claypool away. I don't think Claypool was the worst. But now you kind of lose Kenny Pickett, a weapon. Najee's been rough this year. I don't think it's lack of Najee being good. I think I really actually I don't know, because there was that clip of him on Sunday against the Eagles not taking the first and just juking back and forth. But I don't know. The offense for the Steelers is kind of up and down this year. It's very, very staggered. Nobody knows what's really going on with them. Mike Tomlin, to be honest, I love you, Mike, but your team kind of looks in shambles right now. People are really questioning you as a coach. So it's very interesting to see a star potential wide receiver be traded away in an offense that kind of needs weapons. You have Pickens. I guess you trust Pickens that much. You have Pickens, you have Johnson, and you probably had Claypool. That would have been a really good core. Now it's just Pickens and Johnson. So how much do you trust those guys? Ooh, the Eagles have called about Nyheim Hines. That'll be huge for them. I saw the Eagles also were interested in Kareem Hunt. But we talk about the Niners, and then no more trades. So we're going to go on to, should we go to Twitter? We'll go back to the restream really quick, and we will minimize this. Okay. So I'm going to go on my phone really quick and look at some rumors. I guess I could just do that on the shared screen. Let me make sure. Let me go back and do that. NFL rumors, refresh. Make sure. Okay. Yep, it's good. All right, so let's see. Eagles have called about Nyheim Hines. That's a good one. I mean, as a Miles Sanders owner, I don't like that, but the Eagles have a running back committee, and if they could just add another one to it, it gets even better for them. The 49ers. Oh, this one was not posted yet. The 49ers were trading Jeff Wilson to the Dolphins. I'm going to say this. I don't want to slander the Dolphins too much in this, but as a Niners running back fan. Every Niners running back who leaves the Niners becomes bad. Tevin Coleman leaves, not the best. Raheem Mostert leaves, up and down. Now Jeff Wilson gets traded to the same team Raheem Mostert's on. And you're just adding depth, I get it, because you lose Edmonds. But come on, let's be honest. They're not the Niners. The Niners are a star-studded O-line with a great run scheme. It's very up and down with them. I don't know. The Dolphins and Eagles have called about Kareem Hunt. That's what I was talking about. I don't think the Dolphins are going after him. I think the Eagles will remain in play for him because if they can add Kareem Hunt to their team, you essentially have. I'm not saying Kareem Hunt's a running back 2 or Miles Sanders is a running back 2, but you have a potential 2 running back / 2 ones playing together. So when they alternate, it's gonna, it's better than actually having a running back 2 be your running back 2. You have a lot more depth there. Jamal Williams, I didn't know was on the trade block. Yep, we talked about this. Oh, William Jackson, they didn't post that. William Jackson was traded to the Steelers. So if you don't remember who William Jackson was, he was a great corner for the Bengals and got signed to the Commanders and kind of fell off. So them going to Pittsburgh, I'm going to be honest, Pittsburgh needs all the help they can get right now. Injuries are just destroying their defense, and then the offense isn't producing any points. So adding William Jackson, I think a veteran corner to the team helps out a lot. Chase Claypool, we talked about that. Brandin Cooks. Okay, so it was said that Brandin Cooks was not at practice today. What does that mean for his future? Well, if someone's normally not at practice on the trade deadline, they're out of there. Now, as a Giants fan, would love him to come to the Giants, him or Judy. But it's interesting to see where Cooks will be moved. If Cooks is not traded in the next 30 minutes, then he must have just skipped practice today. I don't know. Yes, so I was going to talk about this. The asking price for Jerry Jeudy is too steep for the Giants. They talked about it earlier. Where is it? Well, there's some good news right here. I want to talk about that in a second if I could find. Okay. I'm pretty sure what it was is the asking price was a second and a fourth. And let's be honest, as a Giants fan, as any fan, I want to ask you this question: as a fan of a football team, your team has not a single wide receiver 1. You barely have a wide receiver 2. You barely have a wide receiver 3. You need a wide receiver. You have a second. I think they wanted a second and fourth. So let's say it's second and fourth. They're asking a second and a fourth, and that's too much for your team. You're going to be upset as a fan. Because let's be honest, a second and a fourth is not going to get you a Jerry Jeudy talent in the draft. Let's use the example the Giants have. Wan'Dale Robinson, Sterling Shepard, both second-round picks. Shepard's hurt. Wan'Dale Robinson is not a wide receiver 1. He's a slot. We need a wide receiver 1. Jerry Jeudy, you trade that second or fourth, you're going to get more talent out of Jerry Jeudy than you will those 2 picks. Now, say I'm wrong. Say next year the Giants go to the draft and draft a star in the second round. Okay, I'll eat my words. But that just doesn't happen as a Giants fan. So, I mean, unless you're kind of like Xavier McKinney. I'm talking about wide receiver position. But I think the asking price for Jerry Jeudy is honestly, if it's a second and a fourth, make the trade. It's perfect. Take him, get a wide receiver 1, and he worked with Dable. That's perfect for you. It's perfect for the Giants. So, 3 teams have reached for the Jaguars on Josh Allen: the Chiefs, the Jets, the Dolphins. The Dolphins, not anymore because they just acquired Bradley Chubb, so we'll cross them out. Let's say the Jets and Chiefs are in this at the same time trying to get Josh Allen, the D lineman, not the quarterback. Honestly, after the Tyreek trade, the Chiefs have so many picks to stock up on. I don't know the Jets' picks. I think this was the year the Jets had all their picks. So I think the Chiefs would probably win this trade out if they were to go get Josh Allen. And frankly, you had Josh Allen to a team with Frank Clark, Chris Jones, think it's Carlos Dunlap. You have George Karlaftis, the rookie. You kind of throw him in there with Frank Clark and Chris Jones. That's a nasty front, and they're going to get after the quarterback. So if I'm the Chiefs, pull the trigger, make this move. Because think about it. If you're Kansas City, you already make the move to get Kadarius Toney. So you get Kadarius Toney, you buff up your receiver core. Your running game is already solid. You don't run the ball as much, but when you do, it's not that worst. You got Patrick Mahomes. You go to the playoffs. You're playing Josh Allen in Buffalo. How do you get Josh Allen in Buffalo? Pass rush. How have they beat Josh Allen the past few years? Pass rush. They've got to. Outside of the last year where it was like a 40-40 game. If you remember the year before when they won, they were just on Josh Allen. Go get the pass rusher, Josh Allen. Frank Clark, Chris Jones, go after the quarterback. Go win yourself a fucking Super Bowl. Excuse me. Watch my language. I saw this earlier. The Rams offered the Panthers 2 first-round picks for Brian Burns. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how the Rams have 2 first-round picks. And if I'm the Panthers, how do I say this? The Panthers are weird because I said it earlier. They're rebuilding right now, and they're going to have a very short rebuild with how much picks they have next year. I think they'll be fine next year. Like I said, you trade away your fucking shitty quarterbacks. You get some more picks. You got depth to your team. I want to say you take that trade. Oh, you turn 2 first-round picks. Thank you very much. But at the same time, if it's that short of a rebuild, you keep Brian Burns. You just add to one more D lineman on the other side. Add a couple players in the linebacker core because their secondary is good. I don't hate their secondary. Add a couple players in the linebacker core, buff up the O-line, get a running back in free agency, figure out the quarterback situation, and your team's set. I think this Carolina team has talent. For the Rams, though, going after Brian Burns is crazy. Aaron Donald, Brian Burns, what are y'all trying to do to the league, bruh? Unbelievable. Let's see. Nothing really new. Several teams have called about Dante Jackson, the Carolina corner I was just talking about. He's not terrible. He's good. Like I said, 14 interceptions and 59 starts. You see it right there. He's good. He's a fast, speedy corner. I don't know if they're I don't know what the Carolina is trying to do. I can't tell if they're trying to rebuild for the multiple years or the shortest rebuild we've ever seen. So very interesting. Very interesting. Let's take a look. Anything else? Anything new? One new tweet. Let's refresh. No, that's it for that. Okay, there's 30 more minutes exactly on the trade deadline. I've spoken about most of the trades. Let me check. Let me check Ari the GOAT. Anything from him? Just nope. So we'll go back to the trade deadline tracker. We'll kind of refresh that. Wait a second. Back out. Close out of this. Excuse me. So that was a lot of talking in however long I was, 23 minutes. Those motherfuckers talking to the chat. I can't see the chat. I'm not on this. I can't see y'all, bro. I was on a different screen. My fault. Bro, my fault. Okay, don't call me an L streamer. I just got back. Chill out. I'm interacting with y'all now. Chill out. Here. Hold on. How do I put this on the screen? Show. My fault. Hey, Joey, my fault. When I'm on the different screen, I can't see. Forgive me. Top 3 winners and losers. Okay. Winners and losers. Is it crazy for me to call the Dolphins losers? I don't like that trade. I don't like giving up a first for Chubb. I mean, I understand he's very talented, but like I said, injuries and hasn't had double-digit sacks. But you get Jeff Wilson. I think they need to go. I don't know. It's tough. I don't think it's a terrible trade, but I don't think it's a great trade. I think it helps them a lot, but at the same time, I think about it for Denver. Denver loses a big piece, but then they just get all those picks back, and they're just going to add more depth to their defense, most likely. Oh, I forget they have. Yeah, I forget they have Phillips. So that's true. 2 young pass rushers. Alex told me I'm a hater. Got to put that on the screen. I'm not hating. Chill out. Any trade? Nope. Sorry, my phone be notifying me. I gotta go back and look. I gotta go see who. Forgot all the trades already. Oh, winner. San Francisco. I think that's easy. I think Carolina is also a winner because they get a lot back. And like I said, they're very close to a rebuild. I think Kansas City's a winner because whoever said we've fleeced them is tripping because Kansas City just got a talented wide receiver. If Kadarius Toney can play, they're a good. That's a good ass. It's already a good ass offense. It's a greater offense with Kadarius Toney. What's funny is my dad asked me. He goes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Caleb. El Panthers for not taking the 2 first. Like we were talking about it. If you go get Burns, if you give up Burns and you take the 2 firsts, that's probably better for you in the long run than just keeping Burns. And you have so many picks next year if you trade Burns. The Bears are winners. I don't know, Joey. How do you? I wish I could hear. I wasn't there for the reaction of you finding out about Roquan. Is Kareem gonna get traded? I don't know. I don't know if Kareem's gonna get traded. I think. Like I said, the report of the Eagles going after Kareem, I think that's really good for them because you take Kareem out of an offense where he's a number 2 behind Chubb and put him in an offense where I wouldn't say he's the one, but him and Sanders are kind of at the same level where they're both going to split the same amount of carries. And he's not going to be kind of in a role of Cleveland where it's just handoff to Chubb and then you come in and just kind of play it down and get out. He'll be a legit role for the Eagles. The Rams weren't the only team to offer 2 firsts. Yeah, hold on, let me put that on the screen. Yeah, 2 firsts gets you weapons or Stroud. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of things. So hold on, let me ask you this. Since you guys are in the chat right now. Does Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold get shipped after this year? PJ Walker has already shown what PJ Walker has played. He's all right. He's not a starter, but he's an all right backup. Do you move Baker and Darnold for just picks? Like even if they're late picks, just get them off your roster. I don't know their cap hits or anything like that. Do you move on from them and go after a young quarterback? The Bears have their first, second, and 2/3 with over 100. Oh yeah, then you guys are fine. I didn't realize. I know the Roquan thing was all about the offseason with the franchise tag and he was going to sit out and all that stuff. So that's okay to move on from him. Getting Claypool is good. Honestly, I love getting Claypool because Joey, I wanted the Giants to go after Claypool or Judy, but Judy, the Judy shit's pissing me off because the Giants won't make that trade. But no, Claypool to the Bears I think is really good. It helps you guys' depth out. Mooney, Claypool plus a rookie in the first. Oh yeah, that's gonna help. And then your running game is already. We already know that the running game is already polished with Herbert, Montgomery, and Fields who can run. I mean, you get one good receiver in the first round, or I don't know how great the O-line is. You get any type of weapon for Justin Fields. I think you guys will be good next year, and that's kind of going to be. I know you're going to hate that I say this. It's going to be the whole. What I say about Daniel Jones is the whole. We got you the weapon. Can you prove it? I want to see Daniel Jones get a weapon so he can prove it. So that would be Justin Fields' time to prove it. Um, the Chiefs have made a big push for Jaguars Josh Allen. That's what we like to see. No updates yet. Cool. Just kind of waiting. Like, it's 30 minutes left. I feel like all the big trades have kind of happened already. But I'm waiting to see, like, if Fields take a step next year, they could be a top 10. I don't doubt it. I mean, okay. Like I was saying to Michael earlier, in that Patriots game, you guys always run the ball well. But in that Patriots game, you guys ran the ball well enough to where you could just pass it easily. And you didn't even have to pass it because you could just keep running it. If you get weapons to pass it and Fields takes the next step, defense is good, well, solid. O-line, run game, good. Get the receivers. Go out and get them. Like that's the one thing I'll say right now about your fucking team, Joey. I'll say this real quick. Your team is doing what I wish my team could. We know we need receivers and we're not making the move. You know you needed weapons for Fields. You went out and got it. I don't know if the Giants just trust Kenny Golladay or something, but let's be honest. Kenny Golladay comes back and actually plays well. Like, that would be the biggest shocker in the world. Like, I think making a trade, because Cooks wasn't at practice. Cooks would be a great trade pickup. Judy, tank for Will Anderson. Shit, go get Will Anderson. Max, we were talking about that. Max thinks he's going out of the top, not leaving the top 3. So, depending on where your guys' pick is, I don't know what the teams. Let me see if I can find a current draft position thing, and I'll pull that up. I would like to look at that. Here we go. Yeah, let's pull this up. Okay. So, interesting. Oh, of course, Philly's got pick 8. Okay, Detroit at 1. Detroit being 1, I don't know who they're going to get. Are they going to get a quarterback? Do they trust Goff? I honestly have no clue what Detroit will do. Houston at 2. Again, kind of the same thing. I don't know. Okay, thought a trade happened. Just some bullshit nobody cares about. JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Sorry, that's kind of fucked up. But Houston at 2. Carolina at 3, like we're talking about. Carolina's, they could get Will Anderson if he's there. And then now you have Will Anderson and Brian Burns. And I know they should make the freaking trade to get the 2 first, but that's not too bad. Pittsburgh at 4. I don't know what Pittsburgh would do. They would have to go. They can't. No way they go receiver. They don't go quarterback. They don't go running back. Don't think they go tight end. Obviously, they don't go. Don't know if they go lineman. They probably go somewhere on the defense. Yeah. Jacksonville 5. I think Jacksonville's works on their defense. I think Jacksonville's draft is going to be through the defense. The offense, like I talked about at the start, has improved a lot. So, Las Vegas is 6th. Oh my god, that's bad. Tampa's 7, and they're in the playoffs. Can you believe that? You 7th in the draft, and you in the playoffs right now. And then Philly has New Orleans pick, which is disgusting. So Philly will get a good player regardless. Houston has Cleveland's pick. Seattle has Denver because Russell Wilson. Arizona's at 11. Chicago's at 12. Green Bay's at 13. Detroit has another first-round pick from the Rams. It's at 14. The Colts at 15. And then the Bengals 16, New England 17, Washington 18, and then the wild card stuff. So, wait, so does that mean Tampa's not in the playoffs then? If they're at 7? Did they get kicked out of the wild card spot? Because they were in it last week. am I fucking talking about? Wild card spot. They had the division lead. I should have known that. Yeah, they had the division lead, and now Atlanta has it. Yeah, they didn't have a wild card spot. The wild card's too good for them. 20 minutes left, and yeah, Atlanta. I'm expecting Atlanta to go to the playoffs. That's sad to say that I'm expecting Atlanta to go to the playoffs. Yeah, hold on, I'm putting that up on the screen real quick. If the Eagles winning out, most likely, Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders all make the playoffs because the Commanders are 4-4, I believe. Does it say? Where are they at? 4-4, yeah. So they're 4-4. If they make the playoffs at whatever record they have, and the whole NFC East is in the postseason, that is my nightmare. I don't want to play against these teams. I hate all of them. But it is what it is. Let's see. Anything on Twitter? No, nothing on Twitter with 20 minutes left. NFL rumors. Let's see if there's anything. Brandon Cooks still hasn't been traded. There's 15 minutes left. I'm getting a little nervous now. So pretty much the big trade talk for the last 15 minutes is going to be Josh Allen to Kansas City and then Brandon Cooks to wherever. Calvin Ridley being traded was kind of out of the blue too. Like, I understand you're like a rebuilding-ish team, but I mean, if you had a healthy, non-gambling Calvin Ridley with Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and then I'm guessing Desmond Ridder for the future, and Cordero Patterson, that's a lot of offensive weapons on a bad football team, which isn't bad because they're winning, but they're bad. But like, I just don't. I understand trading Calvin Ridley, but at the same time, what are you going to really get for pull up cap space? Got it. Cap space. Okay, hopefully this is what you wanted to see. Is this what you wanted, Joseph? I got some bots texting me. Can't see it, so tiny. Maybe I need my glasses. Damn, the Browns got cap space. The Browns are weird, dude. How'd the Browns win last night? I want to talk about that real quick. I want to talk about both teams. The Browns beat the hell out of the Bengals, doing nothing but just running the ball and throwing to Amari Cooper. And in the Bengals, I'm sorry, I'm not a fucking head coach, but if your offense relies on tell me this. Every Bengals touchdown that I can think of has been a splash play, throw it up, streak, big play touchdown. No design, no crossing routes, it's just been find Jamar one-on-one, find T. Higgins one-on-one, and just throw it up. The Bengals coaching is terrible. Make sure it's projecting for the offseason. Let me see if I can do that. Let me close out of this real quick. I think this is what you're looking for. Let me pull it up. This is what you was talking about, where you guys have 100 million. Atlanta's there. We're up there. Okay, let's spend some money this offseason. Go make some bread. 100 mil is crazy. I think I'm breaking my chair. Oh no. There's almost 10 minutes left. Top 5 of the NFC next year. You're gonna put that you're gonna, when we do our predictions, you're gonna say that? I'm not gonna lie. The NFC is weak, so I wouldn't doubt it. The Bears being the top 5 team in the NFC. Shit. Hey, I'll make a quote graphic of it. Bears will be top 5 of the NFC next year. But no, I see this. You guys have a lot of cap space. You know what? Since we have that pulled up, let's go pull up the free agents. If this freaking website would load. I hope this is the right. Yeah, it's 2023, so let me. I believe these are the right free agents for this upcoming off season. So I mean, I don't know how good your left tackle is, but would you want to go after Orlando Brown as a Bears fan? I mean, it doesn't seem to be, from what I'm seeing, doesn't seem to be a lot of skill position talent unless it's just not showing up at the top. Damn. I'm looking at it. Okay, hold on. The Dolphins got an absolute haul in the Trey Lance trade. The pick for Trey Lance was 3rd overall, and in return, the players they got out of it for all those picks and stuff like that, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Bradley Chubb. That's disgusting. See, man, that's what I'm saying. Draft picks, that's yeah, go get, there's all these old linemen, you can see them right there. Go after one of them. But no, that's what I was saying about the Giants making their trade. They're so worried about getting these, they're so worried about keeping these draft picks because go get the players. Okay? Like, people worry about draft capital way too much today. And it's like, I guess it's the same with like what I said with Bradley Chubb. Like, you give up a first, is it going to be worth the talent? You give up the 2 firsts for Brian Burns, is it going to be worth the talent? You know, all these picks got traded, And now their pick became Trey Lance, and then these picks became Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Bradley Chubb. Like, go make the trade for Jerry Jeudy, brothers. 8 minutes. See if anything really quick. The Chiefs made a push for Josh Allen, up to the Jags if they want to move him. Any other rumors? Okay, here's the details of that. The Dolphins got 3 first-round picks. The deal for the 49ers, they did with the 49ers to go up to get Trey Lance. Miami has traded all 3 of them. Jalen Waddle became 1, Tyreek Hill, and Bradley Chubb. That's crazy. I need the Giants to make a pick now or make a trade now. It's former Giants player tweeted out, Giants offense looking to be DJ Saquon, Slayton, Galladay, Robinson, and Bellinger. Bro, go get Jeudy. Go get Jeudy. Come on. Oh. There was the news with Alvin Kamara earlier in the week to be traded to the Eagles. As a Giants fan, that scares me. But then he kind of shot the news down and just said people were typing to type. So that's good, for me. Would have been the scariest offense in football if you had A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts, and Alvin Kamara. I wouldn't want to guard any of that. Oh, how much time? 5 minutes. It seems that I don't know. I know, it happens in baseball sometimes. The trade deadline kind of carries on like an extra 10 minutes. I don't know if that's going to happen. Per sources, the Chiefs are not close with any trades. 10 minutes to go. There would need to be significant movement for the Chiefs to make a deal. So it looks like Josh Allen will not be a Kansas City Chief, which, I mean, it's fair that the Jaguars don't want to give him up. Man, I know we're not getting shit. That's why I'm sad. You took what I wanted. You took Claypool. Five minutes to go in the trade deadline, and Packers fans are going to be really mad if a trade does not happen. I'm going to be honest. I don't think the Packers I think the Packers are kind of done being a winning football team, if we're being honest. All because that man Aaron Rodgers wanted to take all the money. You think you lose Devontae Adams, okay, you're going to go get free agents. No, you're not. Aaron Rodgers took all the money. You're not winning. You're not a winning football team anymore. You'll never be a winning football team until that man retires and all the money can finally go back into the organization and you finally start signing players again, because you are not getting good players anymore. You haven't been to a Super Bowl in over 10 years. You just keep losing in the playoffs. Now you're losing regular season games. You're not gonna get better. And people think, oh, let's just go trade. What are they gonna trade? They don't have anything to trade. They gotta keep the picks to rebuild. They want to win so bad. You need picks to rebuild. Unless you're making a trade to give up Jair Alexander for picks. Let's make a trade to give up Aaron Jones for picks. Like you're in the phase. You're in that Seattle Seahawks phase where you're no longer. I mean, they've been this way for years. You're no longer going to be content to win a Super Bowl, but you can't lose enough to be a top 5 pick. So the Packers are going to continue to win enough to keep themselves out of the top 5, but lose enough to either not make the playoffs or just make the playoffs and lose in the first round. There's no reason. You're telling me a team led by Allen Lazard, Christian Watson, Randall Cobb? No, they're not winning. They couldn't win with. It's not even Packers slander. It's the truth, though. They're not winning with the team they have. Listen, I will support Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback, as a passer. I think he's one of the most talented, most accurate. But there comes a point when you're just throwing into fucking trash cans all off season and people are gassing you up. When it comes to game time, that trash can doesn't matter. You know what that trash can is? That trash can is Allen Lazard being covered by a real player. Oh, here's a trade. Nyheim Hines just got traded to the Bills. I mean, I don't know how much of a starter he is for them. I guess it's just more running back depth. I mean, they have a bunch of running backs. I guess he could start over all of them, but I don't know how great. I don't think they're gonna become a running team because of him. Still gonna air that bitch out. But back to the Packers slander because I'm having fun with that. There's no way you paid Aaron Rodgers. I gotta look at the Hold on, where's the contract? Let me minimize this. Let me go pull this up. Aaron Rodgers contract. It's terrible. Come on. Look at this. I'm pulling this up. Right. That's what I'm saying, Joey. They got 17 running back twos. Like, is Nyheim Hines going to start for them, or are they just going to keep rolling with what they got and just have a massive committee? Okay. Aaron Rodgers contract. Look at those numbers. You pay that man all that money to do what? To do what? Win a couple regular season games now? Like, what do you... He's great. I know that. But there's a reason Tom Brady won. He had great coaching. He was never the highest paid player on his team. He made sure to bring in all the players that he could. And then when they got players in the draft that were like 7th round picks, they used them how the best way they can be used. They went and got players with the money that Brady didn't need to go build a better team, and then drafted players, built them up, made them great players. The Packers are not going to be able to do that. Rodgers is the highest paid player, so you're strictly relying on the draft. Okay, so let's think about Christian Watson. Wow, holy shit, Christian Watson. Like, their run game is good. I'll give it to them. They have a good run game. Allen Lazard, oh my God. Like, I don't care who your wide receivers are. You're not Tom Brady. You're not Bill Belichick. You're not the Patriots. Like, you can't take random guys and go win with them. Yes, obviously Rodgers can get the pass to them. They'll catch a touchdown, whatever. But when it comes down to it, you lost to the Niners last year, who did not score an offensive touchdown. So the defense did their part. They didn't let them score an offensive touchdown. The offense scored and still couldn't win. Like, what is wrong? Ooh, big trade almost happened. I'll talk about that in a second. What is wrong in Green Bay? I don't know. I just ranted about Green Bay for like 10 minutes. That's my beef with them. But the Browns and the Rams, Kareem Hunt and Cam Akers staying put after asking for a trade. Kareem Hunt is staying put in Cleveland. They wanted a 4. So I wonder if they wanted I wonder what that means. Did they want a 4th round pick? I don't know. But that's kind of weird that Cam Akers not being traded is weird too. I'm I'm a little kind of shook about that. Not gonna lie. I know. We only got 3 people in here. I think that's what it says at the top. But I'm gonna say this real quick. I don't know who's in here, but Max. All this time in fantasy, he was talking about, oh, Cam Akers, man, he's gonna get traded. I'll trade you him in fantasy because he's gonna be running back 1. Well, he's still in LA, brother. I don't know what to tell you about it. So it looks like at 3 minutes after the deadline, there is no more trades. Brandon Cooks is staying put with the Texans. Yep. That's weird. He didn't practice today. Cam Akers isn't getting traded. Kareem not getting traded. So the final trade, it looks like, was Nyheim Hines going to the Bills. That's oof. Was not. I was honestly expecting someone to be traded like last minute, but none of those names got traded. Josh Allen didn't get traded. Yeah, nothing on my timeline. Damn, that was kind of a that was a great start to the trade deadline and kind of a disappointing end. You started off with, if we want to talk about today, you start off with Hawkinson, but if you want to talk about like the actual trade, McCaffrey, boom, Kadarius Toney, boom, Calvin Ridley, boom, all these names are just kind of flying out of nowhere, and then Nyheim Hines. So, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna pull up the final. Hopefully, the website is updated. I'll pull up the final thing, and I will go through my winners and losers. Refresh. Let's go back. Open that up. Okay. Winners and losers. Arizona. Did they win? Lose? They won that trade. I think they won that trade. Atlanta. I'll say for a rebuilding, if it's a rebuilding standpoint, it's a win. If it's more of, you just traded him to get rid of him because of all the shit going on, it's a loss. But I'll give him the win. Baltimore, I think Roquan might be a rental for them this year, but I'll say it's a win because they are a Super Bowl contending team. Carolina, I say it's a win. I think they could have had even bigger wins with the Brian Burns depending on what all the deals were. I don't think taking the Rams deals specifically, but other deals for Brian Burns may have been a win. I think it's still a win. You got enough picks. You're rebuilding for the future. The Chicago Bears acquired Chase Claypool. That's a win. Traded Robert Quinn. He was really good for them. I think he broke the sack record for the Bears last year. So you got a 4th. I think it's a loss, but at the same time, cap space stuff. So could be a win. I think it's a win for the Eagles. And then traded Roquan, 2nd round pick. You have all that cap space. It's a win. Roquan was about to do the whole holdout thing. The Browns get Deion Jones. That's a win. Jonathan Hankins. That's depth. That's a win. Denver. I don't know about Denver because they get the pick, so I believe that's a win for them. But at the same time, you lose a player on your defense that could be a valuable piece to help you in the future because their defense is good. But I think it's a win for them. Hawkinson, I think losing Hawkinson is a loss. You don't find really great tight ends, and what you're probably going to get out of that 2nd round pick isn't going to equal out to Hawkinson's talent. Trading James Robinson for a 6th, I think you could have gotten more out of him, but the injury coming up that he has with his knee and ETN, it's a win because you do have ETN to replace him. And getting Calvin Ridley, I think, is a huge win for them. I know he's not playing, but in the future he'll be a win. Getting Kadarius Toney from the Giants, huge win. Gonna be honest, don't even know who these players are other than Hankins. So this is a loss for the Raiders. The Dolphins. I don't like the Jeff Wilson trade. I mean, we'll see. He's just depth, so that's fine. I'll give that the win. And then getting Chubb to have with Jalen Phillips is it's a win in the sense that they're trying to win now, but giving up. I think they gave up a lot for him, but I'll give them the win. The Vikings getting Hawkinson to win. The Patriots. Like I said, I don't know who this is, or the. I mean, I guess you get a 6th-round pick. I'll give it a loss. The Giants have a loss for trading Kadarius Toney away. It may have just been, like I said, character issues with the front office and all that stuff, but that's a loss. You lose a really big, talented player. Acquiring James Robinson after Breece Hall gets hurt is a win for them. I don't know who this edge defender is, so I'm not going to really speak on that. Getting Robert Quinn from the Bears is a win. Losing Chase Claypool for a 2nd-round pick, it honestly depends on what you do for that 2nd-round pick. I don't think they're going to go receiver. I think they'll maybe go lineman. So it could potentially be a win, but I do think it is a loss losing Chase Claypool. And then acquiring William Jackson is I don't think he's the player he once was. I don't know what the pick is. I don't know any of that. So I'm just going to say it's a win to a kind of staggered secondary, but it could end up being a loss. And then here, a massive win for the 49ers getting Christian McCaffrey. Losing Jeff Wilson, honestly, you don't need him. You got CMC. You're good. Unless CMC gets hurt, then you're kind of whatever. And the Commanders losing William Jackson, it's kind of neutral. You get a pick, but you lose William Jackson, who's not who he once was. So there's all the trades that have went down. Unfortunately, no bigger trades. No bigger trades happened to end the day. So that is the live trade deadline reaction. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We are going to be recording a lot of videos coming out soon. So please leave a like, comment, subscribe.